ladies and gentlemen, to another episode. Today we got Corey and the crew going in, so let's get right into it.
Y'all niggas who unfortunately pass, or me, if I pass, I hope a real nigga is fucking his mama.
No man can turn down this pussy.
Man. I hope a real man is fucking his mama. That's what you gotta hope for, Craig.
What?
Not no cake ass.
Right.
To be around your son. How are you, son? What would you like to eat tonight? They fuck kids up. If you not here, you supposed to hope a real. Hey, get your ass up there. I'll beat your ass again, boy.
Hell yeah.
Cook me something to eat.
Or you hope that she doesn't bring any guys around and just deals with dads and grandpas.
No. You don't want your.
Yeah,
you don't want no
you don't
woman
need
to raise your son.
I didn't say
you
woman.
want a real ass.
Here we go
Who
again.
wear pink hats and beige suits.
No.
Over there raising your son like a G. We laughing at this because you think D is gonna poison your son.
He ain't lying.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
That'd
right.
be crazy.
If D raising a son.
I didn't raise him, but I would never done him by myself, and I'm glad, thank God.
That's a cap. But what I'm saying is this.
You weren't even around for your kids.
All y'all out there better hope a real is fucking the bitch that got your kid. Because probably you probably ain't gonna be around them.
Oh, that has a lot to do with raising your kid. That someone's knocking his mom. Okay.
Man.
I'm talking life in the United States of America. Chances are you're not finna be the one who raises your child. You picked a bitch that don't fuck with you for real.
I don't fuck with you.
So you're not there with your kids point blank. Because if the bitch fucked with you for real, she wouldn't be with you without the kids as growing up.
That's not true.
Listen to D if you want to.
Well, and not for everybody. You're saying like that's verbatim. You're saying it's bond. Like whatever you're saying is word.
I'm saying if a broad is raising your son is gonna grow up broad-like. You better hope that a real man come in your life, in the life of the broad that you got a baby with. You better hope a real man comes into life and has the influence to stand up in that house. I'm telling you, you better hope a real motherfucker, not a corrupt man. I'm talking about a real man who is gonna get looked at like the villain. He gonna get looked at like the villain because he's a real man. If you're a real nigga, the world hates you. You got masculinity in you.
But I'm a man, goddammit. I ain't no motherfucking bootlicking trustee.
If you're a real man, this world is trained to call you bad. Look at Deion Sanders' son.
Man,
Didn't get picked when he should have got picked. Let me tell you why. Because it was a man in his life speaking up. Archie Manning can speak up for his kids. Oh, he got drafted by San Diego. We don't want him playing there. He's not going to play. Everything cool.
I ain't gonna say my reason because I don't want to.
I don't want Craig. Now you know I ain't got nothing but respect for you.
Yeah.
You a man.
Yeah.
I got respect for you. You a man. You a titan. Goddammit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, regardless if we titans or not, you better hope a real nigga, a real man. Let me fuck Negro. I don't have to use that word. You better hope a real man
Colored
is in your son's life. Because you probably not gonna be, because you had a baby by a broad you like instead of a broad that held you down.
Message.
Well, and here's the thing. I agree with Corey, but what I was saying was about having a man in the home.
Right.
I don't agree with that. I don't like when people say, oh, I need a guy in the house to be with because I'm not happy type shit. No, well, what about your kid? You ain't got to bring no other man in the house and
What about a stud?
And divvy up time.
Darlene, what are you talking
What
about?
about a
I'm
vegan
talking about
man?
you
A
don't have
stud.
to have a so-called blended, when people say this blended family, them shits never work.
Darlene, what are you talking about?
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
If your son grow up without a man
I'm not saying without a man.
in the house,
doesn't
with
have
him.
to live there, right? Doesn't have to live in there with him. I'm saying I'd rather have that with grandparents, uncles, coaches, all that, and his real dad in his life. Not living in the house, giving other orders, sharing mom's time with him when he's supposed to be divvying up. Now it's bad that there's 2 homes. Now the kid has to go to the dad's, kid has to go to mom's. I don't like that. It's like, no, you barely have enough time with each. I don't like that when they part as it is. I'd rather have it with
Divorce
just...
should be illegal. A man should just
bad.
be able to hire another bitch.
It rarely works for the kids. It
You know what I
rarely
mean?
does.
If your child grew up with a mama and no daddy, your child out here fucked up.
Message.
In most situations.
For sure.
Your child out here bad. The girls and the boys, if they grew up with the mama's law,
I agree.
They out here bad.
Yep.
Mama's
and
law
thank God
is crazy.
my son had his dad in his
Mama's
life.
laws.
What you say, Craig?
The mama's law is crazy.
Mama's what?
They said the mama's law. Women ain't got no law.
Wait,
Women are
turn around.
lawless.
Can't see the thing.
Will you tell them, Craig?
You can't see the word.
Like,
listen, let me tell y'all something.
Like that. Here, so you don't.
Your mama love you, but your mama don't give a fuck about wrong and right. Your mama is gonna raise you off how she feels.
A vegan.
But if you are around a real man coming up, if you come up under a real man, there's certain things that you are not going to be able to do as you are developing, and you're going to learn something that will help you be a better person throughout the rest of your life. Because your developmental years, you don't need no bitch asking you what you want to eat tonight.
No.
That is the dumbest shit a woman can say to her child. What you want to eat tonight? I watch bitches say that, I just leave their house.
Yeah. I would too.
Because I'm going to go to war with this little motherfucker when he about 16 and he think he can talk crazy to me. I'm going to punch his chest in. Because you asked this nigga what he want to eat. He going to eat what I give him. Just like in the room, you going to eat what I put in your mouth.
You're going to learn today. You're going to learn what a long dick look like today.
Now here we go.
And if this ain't the way the house going, we got to get away from each other now.
Yes.
You do what I say. It's your job as a woman to find a real man and buckle in. Even if you do it just for while the kids are being raised. If you lead a man after the children are grown, okay. Then you could be selfish. You could be out here like Michelle Obama and them talking on the podcast, making a goddamn fool out themselves. You go do that. I did this. I didn't have nothing to wear, so I didn't want to go to Jimmy Carter's funeral. And Barack needs to learn. Shut the fuck up. Who the fuck is this? She talking? The worst thing she could have did was got a podcast. We see everything we thought. It was confirmed. Barack Obama ain't walking around that house like this. Hey, shut the fuck up. I'm the president, bitch. I ain't going to jail. You going to get your ass whooped. That's how you talk in the house with a woman the first couple of years until you set them straight. When they realize, don't play with that nigga. He is not bullshitting. The kids see too. Don't play with daddy. If the kids are being raised right, if the mama ever say something back to the daddy, they be like, mama, no. But y'all want to listen to a woman tell you about how children are supposed to be raised, but you don't want to look at what's happening out here in the streets with the children that was raised by women without a daddy.
Y'all some unstable creatures. See, I ain't gonna say the B word. I'm gonna say unstable creatures.
Look at what's happening. The influence of the human haters being the people who are in control of what's happening in America, is in your house full blast. Yeah. The human haters run your house, dog. Your wife is ruling you under threat of calling the human haters. She'll call the police on your ass if shit ain't going right. If your woman called the police on you, that is the ultimate act of defiance. She called the others on you. How y'all gonna make it if she got the others in here regulating your house?
Yeah,
the kids watch when the police come there. They be like, Ooh, so mama can call the police on daddy. He better not say nothing to me. I'm going to call the police on him too.
Yeah, and then they get used to it, and they think that's the way of life.
My mom called the police one time. My dad was in that motherfucking living room fighting like a motherfucker.
You almost got to go to jail.
With the police, they came.
Oh.
Mom's still cool.
That was back in the day, though.
And called the police on him. I think I was like 10.
So you saw all that.
Yeah, she threw Kool-Aid.
And Craig love his mama. He ain't finna lie on her.
Called the police. The police showed up. Smitty answered the door like, how can I help you? And his first thing is, I'm a veteran, okay? So I don't know what the fuck you talking about. I served in Vietnam, so everything's cool in here. So he went to shut the door, and the police put their foot in the door.
They on some bullshit.
So Pop said, look, I'm going to ask you one time, okay? I'm going to ask you one time because this is my shit. Get your foot out the door. He went to shut it again, and the dude still had his foot. Pops opened the door and fired on him.
Whoa.
And they all rushed in. He was fighting the police in front of me and my niece. I'll never forget that. Yeah.
Trauma.
You better pray. I'm going to tell you once again, you better pray. If you picked a woman that ain't down with you, you better pray that later in life, she get up under a real one who will go down protecting principles and his family. In that order. In that order.
A man that's going to protect principles and his family?
In that order.
Right.
I mean, I think it's natural to protect your family. If you a man, it's natural. You're going to naturally protect the young and the woman that's with you. But are your principles going to be compromised for that pussy?
Most going to compromise their principles for pussy.
Let me tell you who going to do that? Who wasn't brought up by a man.
Right.
Who wasn't brought up by a man who done seen a woman get put in her place. Not out of pure evilness or nothing like that, but that woman is not sane. You have to make it where she's sane enough not to fuck up with you.
That's real shit.
You have to make it where, okay, you play crazy all you want. Don't play crazy with me up in here. These kids are watching everything that happens.
It's real.
And I have to regulate. Because I'm the one finna go down if something happens.
But ladies too, though, you got to realize, especially if you got a boy that that becomes a man and establishes principles. If you're not keeping it real with your children, they're gonna reach an age where they realize you full of shit.
Look at somebody say Corey wasn't brought up by a man. That's right. And I had to learn life trial by error. I was brought up by a loving mother. Loving mother. My mother loved her kids to a fault.
But you have older brother too, right?
All of them. My mama loved all us. Even the bitch that ain't shit. Yeah. I got a sister ain't about shit. Ain't about shit. I watch my mama still love her. I'm like, this bitch, do you see what this bitch did to you? That's your sister, Corey. And I'll be like, God, a mother's love is a trip.
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful thing in the world, but it can also be the worst thing in the world.
To their detriment, yeah.
It seemed like everybody been kind of talking about this type of stuff for a while. Black kids that's been raised by a man or just a woman. And I know for me, when I was coming up, none of us had a two-parent household. I mean, my mama, none of her sisters, nobody was married and lived with a mother and father. So we all know that's a generational curse, right? I have 2 sons and I have 2 brothers. So I definitely can see the difference when a man is around versus when a man is not around, because biblically women are weaker. That's just how God made it. So men are stronger. So there's things that happen in a lifetime, in a family, and in a household that men are going to be better at dealing with. And sometimes women have such a responsibility with the children and the household, and it can get overwhelming sometimes that we don't know how to always logically handle stress and things that come up in life. My parents weren't married, but my father was always around. It was that like weekend co-parenting schedule. That's how I grew up. So I always had my father around and his influence. I saw him get ready. I watched his shirts for him and scrub the collar of the neck because he was working in corporate. Me and my brother had to shine my dad's shoes for work. My father's also military, so he was kind of strict in that get up, make your bed, brush your teeth, that type of father. And he was very intellectual, so we had to read Reader's Digest and do math problems and things like that coming up. So I understand that structure that I had from my father, even though he wasn't in the home, versus maybe a cousin or someone else who didn't have it at all. Like I know people who ain't never ever even seen their father at all in life. Me myself, I've been married for 20 years and I do understand that there is a hierarchy, that there's things that my husband is better at and that I have to take a back seat, if you will, and not always operate out of feelings. Corey mentioned operating from what's right and wrong versus feelings, and how a lot of our mothers operated based on their feelings and not right and wrong. And it got a lot of us screwed up, men and women, because the men and women was raised by single mothers. So we all kind of screwed up and trying to rectify that with the next generation. I don't think all of our fathers just didn't want to be there. Some of our fathers were selfish and chose themselves, their careers, other women and their children. Some of our fathers just couldn't handle it. Maybe they were young and they couldn't handle the stress of trying to get along with a woman who brought her family trauma and baggage into a relationship that man probably was oblivious of. There's a lot of unhealed trauma, unspoken about conversations, and generational curses that got us where we are today, to see that the two parents are greatly needed. And with the father being stronger, he absolutely must be there. The conversation in this video is you and your woman ain't gonna get along. 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna be in the home raising your child, so you will hope your ex will go on to get a man who's decent to basically raise your son for you. And that part I kind of got an issue with, because we in an age of accountability. So men have to take more accountability on who they making kids with, or still sticking around to raise your child, and by men being stronger, getting your child from the woman. I know that may be easier said than done, because some women like to use children as paychecks or try to make men suffer through that child. Basically, I know we gonna break up and hoping and wishing another man come in that's decent to raise my child. I think that's a crazy thought process. Even though that can still be reality, I still think that that's crazy, and we definitely don't need to operate like that. But I do understand what Corey is saying. If it don't work out between you and your biological parents, if they move on with someone else, you do want to make sure that that's a halfway decent person, because they're gonna be around your child. And lastly, using the white man calling 911 white on your child's father, and then Corey and them made a good point, then that child seeing it and them later on feeling like, if my daddy say anything to me, I'm gonna call the police on him, like I watched my mama call the police on him. I think that's crazy. I hope ain't nobody, kids doing that, but I think that's a house where that father has been stripped of all male authority and dominance for a child to even have the balls to call the police on their parents. Because I know back in my day, us 80s babies, we would never. But y'all leave me a comment, let me know what y'all think about the topic. Until the next time, I will catch y'all in the next episode. Peace out.